everyone, this is Heather from JD Advising. In this video, we're going to talk about the top 5 law school exam taking tips. Tip number 1 is to find out the format of your exam early. Some professors identify in their syllabus whether they will be giving a fact pattern exam that requires you to issue spot, whether they use short answer questions, or whether they use multiple choice questions. Long fact patterns that require issue spotting are the most common law school exams, but some professors do like to incorporate short answers and multiple choice questions into their exams. If they do include things like short answers and multiple choice questions, these types of questions tend to lend themselves to more detailed areas of the law, including things like the history of the law and policies behind a particular law. So if you find out early that your exam will include things like short answers and multiple choice questions, you may want to tailor your studying for that class with that in the back of your mind. Tip number 2 is to outline early and memorize the law. So you should not wait until the end of the semester to start making your outline. Try outlining as you go. So after each class or at the end of each week, turn what you took notes on in class into your outline. And try to work on memorization too, especially if you have a closed book exam. The earlier you start, the easier it becomes when you get closer to exam time. Even if you have an open book, open note exam, memorization will still help you. If you know the law really well and you're ready to just type it out or write it out as you're taking the exam, you have more time to write and you'll be wasting less time looking things up. Also, the earlier you work on your outlines, the more time you'll have closer to exams for things like practice tests and reviewing that outline to make sure that you have it memorized. So with that in mind, tip number 3 is to practice. Try to get your hands on some practice exams. If your professor offers you a practice exam, take full advantage of that. Also, don't simply read through the practice exam to see if you identify what's going on or to just familiarize yourself with the issues. Try taking it under real-timed conditions. This will really test whether or not you're prepared to discuss these types of issues on the actual exam. Furthermore, that'll help give you an idea of whether you struggle with timing at all on exams. If you definitely don't want to find out on exam day that you struggle with timing on an exam. Even if your professor doesn't offer practice exams, you can still find them from other sources. Other professors at your school who've taught that class in the past might have some available. Additionally, you can definitely find old exams online. The best exams have a sample answer. If you do get your hands on an exam with the sample answer, again, try to take the exam under real-time conditions and then spend some time going through the sample answer afterwards and comparing the answer to your exam to see what you missed and what you got right. If there are things you missed, that's your hint that you probably have to go back to the source material, relearn that, restudy it, make sure you really understand it, and understand why you missed it. Did you misread a fact? Did you not know that area of the law? Taking the time to self-grade and to go back and check your answer is really going to help ensure that you don't miss that same issue again if it's tested on the actual exam. Tip number 4 is to use IRAC on your exams. You may remember IRAC from Legal Research and Writing. It stands for Issue, Rule, Analysis, and Conclusion. Using IRAC to format your essay exam answers is really going to help ensure that you don't miss anything. You'll be sure to cover each and every part of that IRAC that your professor is looking for, and it also makes your answer much more organized. That's going to help your professor read it and be able to give you more points when they grade it. Professor would much rather read an organized answer than an answer that jumps around from topic to topic. Tip number 5 is don't outline dump on your exam. Try to answer the issues or discuss the issues in a clear, concise manner. Sticking to the IRAC format will really help you stay focused on the relevant issues and make sure that you're talking about one issue at a time, rather than jumping around and just regurgitating everything you've put in your outline. Your professor generally doesn't need a long history of the law, the policy explanations behind a law, or things like that, unless they specifically ask for it. So not only will answering the essay in a clear, concise manner show that you understand exactly what is being tested, but it will also show that you have a really firm grasp on the information. So those are our 5 tips for taking a law school exam. If you have any questions, please feel free to email info@jdadvising.com. Thanks for watching.